copious notes. That way, hopefully you don't need to answer them again.
Yeah. Well, there's one thing I need to inject on here that I was just looking at for the rebilling. But I'll give you the heads up on my plan for it, just to make it a little bit more robust here. Okay, so right now, those who are diving into rebilling, those who are not, it's in like a duplicated infrastructure of Stripe, but everything's hosted internally to us when it comes to products. So you don't like see one added to Stripe or anything like that. We just generate the IDs uniquely so that we can find them internally, and that's how we're able to process it through like an iframe a bit easier, rather than just like Stripe IDs and looking for a webhook. Right now, you have the subscription, you have the voice minutes, and these are even kind of done in packages. And this needs to be set to the new minimum, which is 7 cents a minute. And it's kind of just the same thing. I'll show you. I don't know if I have the pop-up active in here, but I'll show you the infrastructure that it mirrors theoretically. On subscriptions, if you have a subscription type, which is like these plans, like growth plan or whatever here, which is like you can charge them a monthly recurring subscription, it'll show up. They have a full billing thing. So you can see here, my plan, I can change my plan, look at payment info, payment history is all in here, my plan cost, what plan I'm on. We host all this internally via Stripe. They can cancel, they can do whatever. You can manage a full subscription in here. But on
That's
voice and
inside of their
transact,
view, not inside of the rebilling view. It's inside of their location view.
you need to go to settings and billing. And if you don't have it in there, you'll go to settings and you say you're all set, for those who aren't billing for this or they're using it for themselves, whatever. But if there is a billing option, you put up the subscription or you put up voice minutes, they'll see all their payment history and anything in here. Now, the way I'm probably going to change this just over time from like when this was built until now is I don't really, and maybe someone can correct me on this. I don't think I've even seen, but like a handful of people use these subscription types, maybe a handful. And that's like 10, 15 people. So I may keep these just as they are and not elaborate on them much more, but let me know if anybody plans to use that, and it'll be more usage-based billing because that seems to be what may be more popular for things like AI and the AI messages and AI voice may just be the usage-based billing, almost like how High Level does.
So currently those are not showing up on sub accounts.
Which one's usage or?
Yeah, so any of your products there, they're not showing up on the sub account.
Yeah, it's a pop-up that we have. I have it disabled though because it would technically activate with the new infrastructure. It's on my here there's today. Yep, and it'll be for subscription. It'll be a pop-up, kind of like how when you signed up here originally, you got like a little pop-up or thing that's like choose a plan to use and you can't get past it. It's almost like an onboarding type thing. That's the same infrastructure that'll sit here. They'll click on the custom menu link. They'll create an account. We'll generate a Stripe ID. We'll do all that fun stuff. And then they can select a plan. They don't go past select a plan, then SOL for them, unless you take it off or give them a coupon or whatever. But the way voice minutes and pay-per-use will work, if you want to do a package, I think I'll keep the packages in here because it may just be a way to collect cash. Who knows? But if you want to do pay-per-use, what we'll have is like almost kind of how we have something like this, a call to action here that you can customize. The call to action will lead them to either something like this, where they can set up pay-per-use, they can buy like this, or they can buy in bulk. Something like this. This was actually, they built this one for the idea of like, to give you cheap voice minutes, 5 cents a minute, but to go ahead and set up the infrastructure for rebilling on voice in dynamic ways of like pay-per-use, slide to buy, and discounted packages. Okay. So that infrastructure will be put in here. On pay-per-use or something like that, it'll be like activate voice, whatever call to actions right there. They'll go there and they'll like put in their information so we can create a customer ID. And then on the first of every month, we'll send back their usage to their confirmed usage to Stripe. to bill. So, like sometimes it doesn't happen now, but like even in the transition to V2, there was one where it would like say you have a call that's negative a million minutes or something like that. It was like technically negative like milliseconds, and it didn't count towards your actual tangible time spent. The ones that are in the actual tangible time, like process time, will be sent to Stripe to rebuild them for using the marketplace integration for whatever you said that you were going to build them for. And then through the marketplace integration, we'll split that out and it'll be gone to the marketplace account.
Okay. So billing and subscriptions work together. So you can have somebody that's subscribed and they can get bulk discount if we build that out as a new product.
Yep.
However, new sub accounts currently are not prompted to add minutes or subscription when they're created. That's something that you'll be doing in the future.
Yep, because right now I'm paying for everything. Everything that you use in this platform costs a lot of money. I'm paying for every single bit of it, just because why not? But using this also has the infrastructure for putting their own OpenAI key, or just you rebilling at a certain amount, like you can charge a penny a message, something like that. Whatever you want to do, that infrastructure is going to be a pretty robust one, which is why it's taken a little more attention to get right.
Okay.
Because money, if you haven't noticed by now, I don't care about money. I throw money at anything, but I don't like to touch other people's money. You'll never, ever, I'll never even touch your Stripe subscription. If you say something to me about it, I'll tell you to go do it yourself, because I don't touch people's money. And so when it comes to like doing something like this is not only touching your money, but this is touching someone I have no clue who they are's money. So this is a little bit, requires, at least in my view of how these things happen, a little bit more attention.
Okay. So is there a way to add a product or a subscription to an existing client, or is that something you'd still recommend we do externally for the moment?
So how that'll work for ones that you already have that are using, but you want to turn on billing for them. So next time they go in there, they need to like, turn it on for it to actually work. Is, we have this global turn on off button. And I don't remember if I put it back in here with V2, but there was a little slider that says rebilling on or off. So even if you have rebilling on, it doesn't like it'll globally go out. But if you have one specifically that you don't want rebuild, your own or whatever, there will be a little toggle that you can turn it on or off. And that'll kind of come back to a default settings thing that I have here for a snapshot too.
And then how do we set the default minute cost if they don't have a package?
It'll probably be like a global variable that I'll put here. Somewhere here, like not necessarily in the dashboard, but like maybe products is like a global variable, almost like a product of like, here's how much I'm charging for voice, for pay per use or something like that.
Okay, so that's
almost
future
a
as
product
well.
thing. Yeah, because I'm gonna have to do it like a SaaS configurator, because there's just so much stuff. Especially some people have requested to bill for messages, which totally get. Like that's how most AI platforms actually work. Some by tokenization, which I don't think I'm just going to do, because that's not going to, a non-technical client will not understand that. And even tokens, I think per minute, per message just may be the best. And so we'll set a per message base cost, a per message.
That was my next question. Yeah, per message based cost. Because right now the packages are limited.
Yeah, and that's what we'll set that. And then the packages themselves, rather than like being a product, it'll be like a package. So you can package those things together into like a subscription to put into their stuff, or to show to them in like a pop-up type thing.
So another question is, if somebody has minutes but they don't have a subscription, they can still use the system, right? And if somebody has a subscription, as long as there's enough minutes left in that subscription, they can still use the system unless it overs. Then in the future, when there's a default value set, that it will automatically get charged for overage.
Yep, something like that. But I think we may just go to pay per use in general, of like, even if they have minutes in there, it just will not tangibly count towards their use. Like at the end of the month, the math will work out as what you did versus how many minutes like you had when you started out. And then whatever's left is what you get billed for. So kind of, I guess, like an overage, but like a different thought process of it. But yeah.
Yeah, because if we can set price per minute by tier, because I think that's a really easy way to distinguish tiers, right? If we do 22 cents a minute for the lowest tier, and then 16 or 18 cents per minute for the highest tier, especially if they're doing high volume, that's a real big.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to be a little bit more robust to it too. And there's nuance with it too. So like, for example, if you have voice minutes, say you have 100, say the client had bought a package of voice minutes and didn't want to do pay-per-use, whatever, and their subscription lapses, what do we do?
Yeah.
Well, the thought process of that is, at least in mine, and this is where more of the feedback from you guys actively deploying it comes in, is like, we'll probably just do it like a traditional, like how Go High Level would do it. If the sub account, themselves paid for some odd amount of like Twilio credits or whatever, like theoretically, but their sub account billing lapsed, sucks. But you don't get access to use those. So maybe something like that.
Yeah.
Like very
Bilal agrees. It sucks.
yeah. Yep. Um,
Is there currently a way that you can move unused minutes back over to your main agency?
I don't remember if I put that in as like the initial shoot at V2. I know if you just
I
for
tried
context,
doing, yeah, I tried doing a negative amount and it just wouldn't take it away like it calculated in the pop-up. So that didn't work.
yeah, I don't remember if because I need to put direction on that. I do have it where if you delete a sub account or a sub account is deleted, it's like brought back to yours to host and sent to them. But I do need to put a direction on these two. Yeah,
Credit and debit.
that. Yeah, like a credit. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it's that way currently. If we delete one of those sub accounts, it credits it back to the agency.
Yep.
Okay.
Nice. That's
and then that was like the even in the beginning, I tried to like put safeties in place of like billing and things like that, which is why transaction history and everything's recorded on both sides of like, rebilling. I wanted as many checks as I could to be in there. Because like I said, I don't love touching money. But this is one that pretty robust, and I want to make sure we do it correctly, which with the whole change of V2, I think I preface this, like I changed everything. And so I've even changed how our internal payment processing and transactions are held. And so I'll graft that infrastructure over so it's a little bit more robust too at the sub account level, and even for resellers who are in there now to rebill other agencies for all that same stuff. So you'll just get like this, for example, is a variable technically. This is a variable with our own rebilling on top of it. But if you have a reseller account, your information will be populated here.
Is there a way, Bilal asked, can we add multiple emails to one assistable account? And I'm assuming just points of contact, letting them know their account's about to expire or their minutes are up or logins.
Technically, I don't know if you can see it on here. We pull all the users from the sub account and have their email just to see who's in there, which is how we kind of divvy out access depending on sub account too. The problem that came with that, and maybe someone can give me some insight on this too, with like the gray labeled email, is like that's overstepping our boundaries of like emailing them saying your subscription's about to lapse. What we were gonna do is send like a webhook to you and saying, hey, you have this thing. You can set a parameter and Go High Level to email them based on that. But again, that's more of a technical type setup. We still may have an option.
You should just have a folder of workflows for assistable agencies, so you can communicate on our behalf like that. I think that makes the most sense.
Yeah, I can do that.
I think that question was actually about assigning more users, like adding another email.
Yeah, it was, but I'm also glad he went down that rabbit hole too. So is there a way that we can add more users? Bilal, do you want to clarify? It's your question.
Yeah, like on the workspace tab that you're on, once we click on the three dots, I know in version 1 it was said add users, but now in V2 that's kind of like gone. Oh, I don't see that on my side. I mean, like not to the accessible, but to one of the sub accounts that you have in the.
Yeah, that's because bug reports are like the same thing. It's blocked off right now for putting in the new portal of like that life vest thing, white labeled. I'll have the user stuff in here too, and I'll have it at the admin level here, because some of this information is still like irrelevant. Like training data is now knowledge, deployment is now active tags, numbers, things like that. This little managed sub account thing needs to be changed because it needs to be more like a SaaS configurator type thing. So that's in my here.
Yeah. And then
Okay.
do you want to stay on task, Bilal? Was that something else related?
No, another question I had was that so if I were to do like an external deployment, because like my URL is not working at the moment, how can they log in? Can they log in via createassistance.com, or would it have to, or do I just have to wait for those guys?
For external.
Yeah.
So if you have an external and you have their account here, 3 dots, and then add to location. You send this here, we send their like direct login link. We had it before where you can like send them a link to log in, but people would take that link and they would, take your IDs and everything off of it, and then they would just log in and they would just sign up directly with us, which defeats the whole purpose here. So we just dummy proof the hell out of it. We're just like, hey, add them here. So when you put them in here, we do 2 things. Is we do a poaching check. So like if I go to add this guy in here, yeah, no poach. But if it's someone new, you're coming in here and adding somebody new, you put their email in, you can add as many as you want, send the invite, they get a gray labeled email from us with your agency name actually on it. So it comes from no reply at createassistance.com, but like the from name is your name. And then it says, even though like take these variables, for example, it would say, hey, you've been invited to ABC Marketing on Assistable Prod. Click here to log in, or whatever your name is. You've been invited to ABC Marketing on Visix Media. Click here to log in. They get that link already injected. They click the little hyperlink in the email, and they're taken directly where they need to be. And they just set their password, and they're right in. Everything's already done. The onboarding's pre-done for them. Everything.
So the exact process right now for external deployments or for resellers is going to resell, add external deployment. You name the workspace, because right now I have none, and so it just says no reseller accounts, create agency workspace button, and that doesn't work. So go to new external deployment, then create a workspace, and then it will ask you to send the link.
Yep, and you set all their preset stuff here, how many sub accounts they have, how many assistants they can have per sub account, how many messages they have globally, minutes, things like that. And then you add their email. Like I said, if they're already in there, because that's been a thing pretty often for no poaching, you add their email in there. If it's already in the system somehow, some way, somewhere, we'll let you know.
Okay.
And then we'll have procedures in place for that. Like if it is one that's like trying to sign up with you, but they already have an account with us or something like that, there will be almost how Go High Level has that move sub account thing. We'll have that in place. But as long as the email is free and good to go, they'll get an email. Let's see if I can pull up the email here.
Okay, so those are the steps to create an account and to send the invite. But then as far as payments go, currently, I'm assuming the reseller portal isn't set up if the rebilling portal isn't set up. So would we still recommend doing payment outside of the assistable payment portal?
Yeah, and I'll say I'm gonna work on it today. I don't know if I'll get it done today, so before the end of the week, that's fine. And then when those things come into fruition, I may have some sort of import thing if you already have some outside billing, because I know some people will they'll use Stripe on their own. They'll use School for some. Some will do like a group and things like that. So we'll have a way to kind of sanity check all that, because the idea would be for them to manage their subscription in here and not have to, for it to be hands off.
Yeah. So if we're waiting a week, we can probably do both the reseller and rebilling for accounts inside of Assistable. If we need to make a sale now, you'd recommend using an external payment provider, and it won't account for minutes, so we'll have to manually rebill minutes if they go over. But then later, we'll be able to import, and either we can create everything inside of Assistable, the rebilling or the reseller tab, or we'll be able to import. And then on top of that, new accounts created, rebilling accounts will automatically be, when they go to the custom menu link for the first time, will be prompted to select a subscription or minutes. Good
Exactly.
summary?
Perfect.
All right. Any questions regarding that before we move on to the next guy?
Here's the email. Here's the email that they'll get. And
so sorry. Please finish. Oh, please finish. I don't want to.
I was just gonna say they click this, they'll be taken like exactly where they need to go. This one's expired, but they'll be taken to a
what the
reset.
expiration time is?
Actually, it looks like
15 minutes.
I would have said it was 24.
Yeah, maybe. I'll have to check exactly on what I said on it, but they'll be taken to an account which just has their IDs associated with it. They set their password, and as soon as they hit confirm, they're taken to their new workspace.
And what are those IDs for us nerds that want to customize?
Unique user IDs.
Okay, and that's internal assistable.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Kind of like even how an example of like how we track things too, just for even like in the new system, if you want to nerd out a little bit, you can kind of see the idea maybe here. And this is how we track some of the stuff as an example. Here's some of those IDs if you're curious on from the calling aspect of we duplicate up some just so you can use them. So we have contact ID, contact underscore ID. We have a few.
Smart.
Go
ahead.
Then I thought I had one, but I think I reused this one for that one. But we send not only go high level unique IDs, but our own unique ID as well. So in things like requests, like if you get if you're using BuildShip or anything, you can see it. We have unique IDs for the specific tool call itself so that we can triage. If you have a problem with it, you can send us that ID. We can see the exact call. We have unique IDs for the user and location IDs for go high level. It's like divvied out in both.
Yeah, it's a little heavier on the front end, but then it allows you to make less hops on the back end, depending on what you're doing.
It opens up infrastructure for things in the future, like other CRM integrations and or internal, like, and even endpoints for like account creation, which is fun. Which, by the way, coming back to the whole go high level thing, we can actually create sub accounts on your behalf via endpoint and go ahead and install an AI portal in them and go ahead and pre-fill everything and build them for you via endpoint, but you have to be on the 497 plan.
How do I sign up for that? Because I'm on the 497 plan, and that would be amazing.
Yeah, I was gonna put it together like with the API suite because I was gonna do the way I'm gonna divvy it out. Is like
when you say these things, I think it's there now, and I'm like, why can't I find it?
I gotta test it. On some stuff like that. I do torture test the hell out of stuff, and I even have other people torture test the hell out of some of this stuff. But it's so funny. It always we always there's always a way. There's always a way to break it now.
Yeah.
We torture test the hell out of it. You can ask Jason, dude. We have like 300, 400 Slack messages and a Monday.com board just testing.
Yeah.
On some stuff.
And that's not even talking about Johnny.
Yeah. We torture test the hell out of it, but it always tends to be a way to break it, which is like the triage period, I guess. But anyways, the way we'll divvy out the API for those who are more technical, those who want to play out, we'll separate it by internal stuff. So like sending a message, making a call, getting a call, those will be separated by voice and chat, the things you can do. Those are just basic stuff and setting up the infrastructure for you not only to use dynamically, but in other platforms. And then the other thing will be divvied out is just tools I've built along the way, which is things like scraping websites, summary of websites, raw returns, searching the web, location, distance calculation, things like that. And I have like about 20 of those I have just laying around that we've built over the 12 months or so this thing's been around. And even some, I won't get into that because then you'll ask.
Don't get our hopes up.
I have cold outreach tools for every social media platform, but we won't get into that.
Yeah.
And then it'll be divvied out by go high level using us as just a layer. Since we store your access key at both the agency level and the sub account level, we'll have a suite of, like, for example, these, which would take a technical implementation of access token handling and 24-hour refreshes. Pretty technical, like it's not a fun infrastructure, but anything you may want to be able to do in high level at a very, no pun intended, high level, we'll be able to have all these as a pass through because we store your IDs. You just let us know when and where and how and what, and we'll do it for you. Do it on your behalf.
Bilal was asking, what are the fees? Bilal, is that related to rebilling and reselling?
Yes, because some people are saying that it's like 70%. Some people are saying 30%.
Oh, you're talking affiliate. Free, so. You're talking affiliate.
No. If we use
rebilling,
if we do external deployment, rebilling.
Rebilling in
If you-
general. So divvy it out too. I'm telling you, this is one of the most complex fucking things ever. To a sub account to sell to them, I think there's like a 2% platform fee or something like that through the marketplace integration on like all subscription. It's like 2%. On voice, they're like the only thing is like the base cost. So that's automatically divvied out. So you don't have to do like you pay them and then we bill you. That's automatically just divvied out. You just keep the spread. But for reseller, it may be a bit different because it'll almost be like a reverse affiliate. And from the idea of like a business infrastructure is like, for example, if you're a reseller, it's kind of the wild, wild west right now. You're like literally able to get $50,000 to $80,000 worth of subscription for like nothing. Like it's a major flaw but I'm not a business guy. I just like to have fun. But there will be almost like a reverse affiliate infrastructure for like transactions so that we can get exposure, at least to some degree to clients we will never talk to. It won't be crazy. There was talks of like a reverse affiliate, how affiliate now pays you 30%, we get 70, where it would be reversed as you get 70 of these, we get 30%. But I think even with some cost mitigation stuff that we've done and the fact that you'll be able to rebill for voice and stuff, it may be substantially lower. It may be something like that. I haven't set a number yet, but that was what's in talks. We set it at a precedent of like 30 to 20% just to say like that's what you should expect, but it'll probably end up to be lower.
Okay. Bilal, was that all your questions answered regarding that? Sweet. Thumbs up. All right, Jason, you're up. Sorry for making you wait so long.
No worries. Hey, so for the phone transition transfers, so in the version 1, I was able to add like a comma and a semicolon, which basically just does the pause so when the AI makes the transfer, then it dials a number, and if it's on the phone tree or what do we call them, the IVR, then it can pause if you use a comma and then put the extension in there. I was just wondering if we can add that back in.
Yes. Yep. So today, on my day off, which is my not looking at school group thing, besides some stuff, I'm gonna like write documentation and build some videos because there's also some stuff I just have pre-programmed in voice that are like, dude, there's so much there. It's like a fucking Easter egg hunt. It's so like there's just so much. Like if you put dashes in your prompt for voice when it says something, you can add pausing, or you can tell it to use dashes in its output for pausing. Like if it's saying a phone number, repeat back the phone number with dashes in between each number to separate those values. And so then voice will be like, okay, I have your numbers 2, 3, 4, 7. Is that correct? Rather than 2, 3, 4, 7. There's like a bunch of little there's like that documentation's probably required on and will be there. And even like call error handling, even though it's in like a help doc, like in here,
Right.
at least a more robust way. And if not a video, then like an actual formal document on it. Cause there's stuff like right here, the debug guide.
On the debug, on the support, is there a way for us to, I mean, I can build wikis right now. I can build a support doc right now, but we'd have all these disassociated support docs and search tools and blah, blah, blah. Is there a way for me to post inside of school? Like a school search function sucks. And so is there a portal you would like us to post support docs to, or anything that we've built out?
I have so much fun stuff.
Instead of just
Yes.
emailing you.
Yeah, I have like this right here. This will like bookmark here. I won't show it right now, but it'll be a way if you have documentation that'll not only help